A final from Happy Valley, and it was never in doubt. Drew Aller and the offense putting on a clinic against Nevada. Drew Aller deep to Kyron Hudson. 31-yard scoring strike. Penn State wins it 46-11. They've now won 22 straight games in September. Longest active streak in FBS. All right, back here in studio, former All-American Adam Breneman, CBS Sports college football insider Richard Johnson. Adam, you played at Penn State. You played in games like these. What are you doing when you're up by 40?
Hanging out on the sideline? Yeah. Well, these games are about answering questions early in the season. What can you find out about these teams? For Penn State, it was the wide receiver room, and it was the new defense with Jim Knowles. And Penn State answered both those questions. The wide receiver room with two new transfers, Trevor Pena from Syracuse, Kyron Hudson from USC. Both guys had big days. That's been the issue for Penn State, that wide receiver room, who can make plays down the field. And then the defense with Jim Knowles, the new defensive coordinator. A lot of guys flew around. We saw denied Dennis Sutton, the defensive end, have 2.5 tackles for loss and a forced fumble. A lot of answers for Penn State.
Yeah, Adam, you bring up Trevor Pena. He's a player who got there after spring, too. Yeah. Remember? Got to get up to speed a little bit without the aid of spring practice in this offense. And this offense is not easy. This offense does a lot of different things. So he comes in this game, 8 targets, 7 catches, 74 yards for him. And that touchdown pass that we just showed you, I think that was key for Drew Aller because you saw his mobility. You saw him move out of the pocket and throw off platform. That's something that he has struggled with a little bit too statuesque in the pocket at times, I thought, last season. So, okay, all right, it's not Ohio State, it's not Michigan, but to be able to do it on the field on Saturday afternoon, you like to see it.
They had 4 rushing touchdowns in this game. So how do you evaluate game tape like this if you're Penn State? You go back and look, you do your job, but you know, and no disrespect to Nevada out of the Mountain West, when you know the stiffer competition is on the horizon.
Yeah, it's about eliminating all mistakes, pre-snap, post-snap. We just saw James Franklin in his post-game press conference getting a little fired up about not snapping the ball on time. You got to clean up the game one mistakes, and we saw some early from Penn State in this game. The thing I liked about the offense for Penn State was the tempo they used at the line of scrimmage. This was an offense a year ago, even 2 years ago, that kind of played a little bit slow. They let the game come to them. Against Nevada here, they attacked. This offense looks like it's humming on all cylinders, and Drew Aller looks in total command.
The other thing, they tested downfield. Yeah. That touchdown pass that you saw, this has been an offense the last couple of years that they needed to push the ball down the field. And look, again, they did not have to push the ball down the field to win this game, right? They could have just handed it off to Katron Allen, Nick Singleton the whole afternoon and been fine. But you like to be able to have those things on tape that you've practiced all August in training camp to be able to put it in, it looks clean, and you get in and out with an easy win.
Jim Knowles is their new defensive coordinator. Adam, as you mentioned, they're paying him $3.1 million per year. They're not going to find out if they got their money's worth unless they go deep into the college football playoff. When you know that you're bringing in a new defense like the one that they have currently, is this a defense where you go, okay, Jim Knowles is leading the way. We saw what he did at Ohio State, able to help them win a national championship. Is this where you go, okay, let's plug and play and make that work?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is all about going all in on the national title for Penn State. I mean, Penn State has made it very clear. They are all in 2025 to win a championship. It's championship or bust. You make Jim Knowles the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country. Richard, I tweeted when the DC job came open at Penn State. I said Jim Knowles may be a target. I got crucified for it. I mean, everyone said it wasn't going to happen. Penn State gets after him and pays him $2.5 million. They are investing at the highest level. They keep Drew Aller on the roster. They keep Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, pay those running backs a ton of money. They are all in, and now it's making sure that defense can keep up with Jim Knowles and all the talent they have up front.
And we just mentioned it earlier, a player like Pena, they had already turned over the wide receiver room. And it was key because last year it was the wide receiver room that held this offense back. But James Franklin, who is a wide receiver coach himself by trade, they went out in December, got new receivers, and then they stayed aggressive in the portal in April, and they added a player in Pena from Syracuse after spring practice. So again, they were aggressive in the offseason to try to get this team better, to try to be at their best in January.
You know the Penn State fan base will at some point call for somebody's job because that's just what they do every year, right? Somebody will be saying, oh, we got to get this guy out of here. And you saw, look, Ohio State faced similar situation here with Jim Knowles when they lose to Michigan year after year, right? And then you go, okay, Jim, you better show up in this big game that's coming up against Oregon. You better show up in the big games against Michigan State because those games matter as well. Because that's what it's going to come down to is when you push back against the big boys.
Yeah, this Penn State team, the ceiling, we understand what it is because they keep hitting their head on it. It was nice to get those playoff victories that they got last year, but again, the wins that they had were against Penn State and Boise State. Yes, they got to the semifinal, but you hit your head against the ceiling against a Notre Dame team. It's that class of teams that they have struggled to beat.
And here's a look at their upcoming schedule. As I mentioned, going to host Oregon end of September. Then on the road at UCLA, they'll see Nico Iamaleava. Then a big one for Saturday in November against Ohio State, Indiana in back-to-back weeks, Michigan State, as they look to get back to the college football playoff. And let's get back out to Happy Valley. Welcome in Gary Danielson. Always good to see him. College football is oh so back. Gary, good to see you as well. What's your takeaway from a game like this when it gets out of hand and you see a team just needing to take care of business and do their job?
Yeah, I think they did a good job of kind of managing what was happening, make sure that the right guys got the right snaps. As you were mentioning, the new wide receivers that are here, you also may have to make sure that the new players, especially the wide receivers, get their touches. I thought Andy did a good job of getting everybody and spreading the ball around just enough. Didn't really need to run Allen and Singleton that much. That was accomplished. I think all in all, the offense was about the most you could get out of it. And then, as you also mentioned, getting adjusted to the new defense. That's the next step. That's why these first 3 games, I know a lot of people want to criticize them. I think, though, for the new defensive coordinator, these are important 3 games. Call them exhibition season if you want. But this team is trying to get ready for that Oregon game, and they're going to use all 3 games to get ready for it.
Well, I love seeing James Franklin get fired up about that end of the game, delay of game, because he wants to execute. Because in moments like those, when you're playing a Michigan State and you're playing Ohio State, you need to take care of that kind of stuff. He wants all the details to be taken care of. And speaking of details, I'm still curious why you didn't draw up the 2-point conversion.
I had the truck yelling at me. I was going, I've only been doing it 36 years. I don't have any idea how to draw this one up. You're right.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Gary. That's exactly the way that Penn State draws up this win as they take down Nevada 46-11. Gary Danielson will be with us all season. His final season, we're going to celebrate him throughout the year here on CBS Sports and CBS Sports HQ. Gary, always good to see you, and happy college football is back.
Thanks, Hakeem.